Hey everybody, my name is James. I'm 20 years old and I live in Honolulu, Hawaii. Um, I'm not much of a video editor, so most of my presentation is just going to be me talking with the occasional visual aid. I think what I found most interesting this week was the concept of the perception of amplitude and the effects dealing with amplitude. I've been exploring and experimenting with DAWs and sequencing software since I was in high school, and compression has always been sort of a weak point of mine, so I figured it would be good to expand on it a little bit. So amplitude, of course, is how much a longitudinal wave compresses and rarefies. Amplitude is also always relative, so when we measure it in the air using dBSPL, 0 is set at the quietest perceivable sound, also known as the threshold. And when we measure it in a digital context using dBFS, 0 is set at the loudest point achievable without distortion. We perceive the changes in amplitude as sound getting louder and quieter, and because of this we can utilize effects that alter amplitude to improve individual tracks as well as entire mixes. The most common amplitude effect plugins are compressors, limiters, gates, and expanders. All of these effects, they vary in the way that they operate, but they all essentially do the same thing, which is bring up and take down levels in a signal and turn it into a flatter track. This is extremely helpful when recording things such as vocals and percussion, which often vary greatly in volume. While compressors are great for decreasing the dynamic range of individual tracks, limiters are more geared towards bigger mixes in that they usually only consider higher sound levels and offer overload protection. They also usually have very fast response / release times, making them ideal for bringing mixes to a solid level. One plugin in particular I wanted to talk about with you guys is called the L1 Ultra Maximizer by Waves. It's a multi-purpose processing toolkit that combines an advanced peak limiter, a level maximizer, and a high-performance requantizer. It's really an incredible plugin because it maximizes both the level of the digital signal and the resolution of the final file, so I highly recommend it. Though it has many purposes, I just want to focus on the limiting aspect of it. So we see here on the right, the input level is set at 0. To the left of it, we see the level meters labeled threshold set at negative 2.6 dBFS. The threshold is the highest level of the output signal. Negative 2.6 is where I like to keep it, but that's just me. To the left of that, we see the out ceiling, which shows the actual level of the output signal. That should be kept at 0. Finally, to the left of that, we see the attenuation level meter, which measures how much the signal is reduced in order for it to stay at the threshold level. There are other controls to the left of that, but they deal with other things like bit depth and dither. The sound difference using this plugin is really amazing. Even if the levels within the mix are totally off, it still brings it out to a solid level loud sound. So that just kind of gives you guys an idea of how it works and what can be controlled with a plugin such as this one. Like I said, amplitude is definitely not my strong point, and I'm also running out of time, but just preparing this presentation gave me a much better understanding of the aspects of amplitude and even how one of my favorite plugins works. So I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I can't wait to see some of the other presentations.